Welcome back everyone to my Let's Play of Final Fantasy V, the 4-job Fiesta. And I hope we got our running shoes on because we gotta make haste. The castle is about to blow up. We have less than 10 minutes to make our way out. It's not too hard to get out of here in 10 minutes, but it is hard to make it out with getting all the treasure. And of course I'm going for the 100% treasure completion, so I gotta really hurry up here, so. The problem is most of the treasure chests are guarded by monsters. So when we open up the chest, a monster's gonna ambush us, similar to the Greenhorn Club back in Tool, where we opened that one treasure chest and a goblin jumped out and attacked us. Most of the time we're gonna run into these Gigas monsters. Gigas has easy steal, the elixir. It's their common steal. So want to steal as many of them as we can. Gigas uses the Arrow and Arrow 2 attack. It counters attacks with the Arrow. That's a blue magic spell that we can learn. And sometimes it uses Arrow 2. That's also another blue magic spell that you can learn. So we're going to have to come fight some Gigases later on in the game when we get the blue mages. So unfortunately our Berserkers are missing a lot, so that's not good. So they also guarantee drop a Goliath tonic. We'll just sell them. If you have a chemist, though, you can drink them and they double your hit points. And even when you're in the menu, time is going on. So thankfully, the game auto gives your characters auto running. So even if you don't have thieves, you are gonna run. So these guys have some pretty good steals. The Mage Masher is an upgrade to your if you just have Mithril daggers. But we got that, we're gonna get a better dagger for Faris soon, and Lenna has the Moonring boomerang, and that's does some better damage than the Mage Masher. The Mage Masher though can silence enemies, so it's good for you know, wizard type enemies. You can silence them and keep them from attacking. So one good thing about the thieves is they have that flee ability. So, if you run into random battles besides the ones that we're getting into with these opening chests, you can just use the flee ability to get away. So it saves some time. So, yeah, time is going to be very, very precious here if we're going for the 100%, so. Alright. Yep, because once this castle blows, we can't get any of the treasures again, so. Doesn't matter which way we go. Here we got quite a few rooms where we don't have any treasure, so that's nice. Just avoid this area. Now we can go out to the entrance. It's just going south, but we want to get all the treasure, so let's get that gill there. We're gonna head out to the outside here. There's really good items on the outsides here, so it alternates up and down. Get a treasure chest here, and this is gonna have another elf cape, so really good accessory. And we'll run into Karneks there. You can run into one encounter with sergeants and Karneks. That's gonna kind of be the boss. If you run into them, one thing you can do is just concentrate all your attacks on the sergeant. And if you defeat the sergeant, the Karneks will just run away. So it's one way to get out of that battle quicker, rather than defeating the. It usually comes in a group of 3 Karneks and 1 sergeant. So, but we don't run into any of them. Well, we kind of run into it for the boss. So yeah, there's a little boss, but you can also cheese the boss a little bit too. So well, I'll explain that when we get to the boss of this little escape. Unfortunately, we're losing a lot of time for this battle, but we're gonna get a good treasure. Another elf cape. We'll throw that on one of our berserkers, even though they have really good defense, because we want to keep one of our thieves equipped with a thief ring. So grab a treasure there. Elixirs. Yeah, most of these chests are going to have elixirs. One thing, if you really want to farm elixirs, if you have thieves, and you're not really worried about 100% treasure completion, what you can do is you can get into a battle, a chest battle that has a Gigas in it. Fight the Gigas, steal the elixir from the Gigas, and then use the flee command and run away. And then you can initiate the same battle, because the chest, you didn't get the item in the chest because you didn't complete the battle. So the chest can reopen it again, and that way you can keep fighting the Gigas over and over again. It's a little technique called farming, when you just like keep fighting the same enemy over and over and over again. So it's a way to build up your elixirs, but we're going for the 100% treasure, so we don't have time to farm elixirs. If we really want to farm elixirs, later on we can also go out and fight those zoo birds outside Karnek. They have they have that steel, the elixir, a rare steel, but that's one way to get a bunch of elixirs. We're gonna have to get a bunch of potions after this. We're running low. So, you gotta look at the chests, make sure you're watching closely, because they have a bunch of empty chests scattered around the chests that have treasure in them, so we took a little shortcut there to get across to the other side of the castle to get these treasures. Otherwise, you'd have to go down the staircase and run across the main hallway. At this, another Gigas. Yeah, every time we fight a Gigas, we're gonna try to steal an elixir off of it. So, might as well go for it. So, like I said, it's their common steel, so yeah, we should have a pretty good chance. Like I said, 80% chance to get it with Lenna, because she's the one who has the thief ring equipped. But unfortunately, she didn't get her second turn in because our Berserkers were dealing a lot of damage, so more monsters. Luckily, the final chest over there is, they mirror each other, so it'll be another one of those 2,000 gold chests, 2,000 gil chests, so. And I'm a little worried here, we're running kind of low on time, but we end up making it through, so. And we take out this sorcerer. Didn't have time to really steal from them. Like I said, the Gaia gear is pretty good, but it's not necessary. Alright, now we're gonna head on this side of the castle, and this is where we're gonna get that better knife for Faris. It'll make some of these random battles in the boss battle a little bit easier. It'll be the main gauche knife, and that's a special knife. It chance to block an attack 25% of the time. So put that on a thief with an elf cape here. Probably got a good chance of avoiding attacks. So Faris will get that knife because Lenna doesn't need it. She's in the back row. So even if she does get attacked, she's only taking half damage from the row. We don't want to put her in the front because she has that good moon ring thing that deals the same damage from the front row and the back row, so. Alright. So in addition to giving that bonus to block, that 25% chance to block an attack, also gave quite a bit of attack power to Faris. So she'll be doing more damage. Just good because we don't have much time to spare. We still got some treasure chests to get. These ones back at the beginning that were blocked by fire. And if you have a white mage, you really want to get the treasure chest on the left. It contains the Asuna spell, and the Asuna spell basically heals pretty much every single status ailment. And you won't be able to get that if you miss it here for a long time, so it's kind of a higher level spell. So yeah, you'll if you miss it here, you're gonna have to wait for a while until you can pick it up in a store. So unfortunately, we have no use for it because we ain't gonna have a white mage in this playthrough. So, but still, we're getting all the treasures that we can. So that You saw the little animation there. It looks like a little a sword came out and like blocked an attack. That's what happens with the main ghost. Sort of like when you have the elf cape, it appears you have that little red cape up here. So we used up all our potions and our high potions. Uh-oh. But it's important to do that because we have a boss battle coming up here. Now we can cheese this boss battle by just attacking the sergeant and defeating the sergeant. If we do that, the Karneks will run away and they will just retreat. So if you're short on time, that's one thing we can do. We can also encounter a similar encounter like this inside the castle. And the sergeant will have these stats. This sergeant has different stats though. And if we attack this sergeant and basically defeat him, he shows a different form. So yeah, we did a bunch of damage to him. And it turns out that, hey, he's actually the famed bounty hunter Ironclaw in disguise. So, luckily he's not too hard. He has a really good blue magic spell. The Death Claw. It basically brings your characters, whoever it hits, down to single-digit hit points. So it's like the Tornado or Weak spell from Final Fantasy IV. And luckily the damage that you do to him as a sergeant, when he's in his sergeant forms, carries over into his Iron Claw form. So that makes him a little bit easier to take down and finish. And speaking of taking down, the wall to the ancient library was taken down in the explosion of the castle. And we're about to have crystal shards rain down on us. But unfortunately, 2 of them flew off the screen. And one of them is the job class that we are going to be able to use, the Archer. So we can't use the job yet, even though we got the Fire Crystal jobs, some of them. Beastmaster, we had that in our first Fiesta for healing whiskers. Geomancer, haven't gotten that yet. And the Ninja was in last year's Fiesta. So, pretty good class. They're the ones that throw stuff, so you can go back and look at my old Fiestas if you want to see those classes. So, let's head back into town here now. We already saw 2 of those jobs in previous Fiestas, but we have the Archer job coming up, so. I was surprised when the castle just exploded. I nearly jumped out of my skin. So we're gonna have to wait to get our 3rd job. The crystals are broken and darkness is taking over the world. What a nightmare! Yep. Let's put that elf cape on TnyToe. Of course you don't need the crystals to make great weapons and armor, but now that we can't use it, prices have gone up. Queen Karnek collapsed in the fire-powered ship. They brought her to the 2nd floor of the inn. When the castle blew, the wall blocking off the Library of the Ancients did as well. I talk with this blue here. The castle's gone. I'm going to the pub. Got some new dialogues. Sid's grandson Mid is off at the ancient library. He's even more crazy about learning than Sid. Professor Sid headed to the fire-powered ship. Okay. These guys say the same thing. This guy changes. Feel like the fire's getting weaker. Brr. The crystal's gone, so now the fire-powered ship is nothing more than a hunk of junk. Uh-oh. Well, once again, we're stuck without transportation on the sea. We'll come back here. We're gonna go visit Sid, but we have a few more things to do here. When the castle blew, the wall blocking off the Library of Ancient collapsed too. In the western desert, a fearsome monster called the Dorm Chimera. Be careful. And that monster is really, really tough. So we're gonna try to, if we can only encounter though in the desert, so you want to try to force an encounter outside the desert, so you have less chance of running into that encounter when you have to cross through the desert. We're gonna minimize the amount of steps we have to take in the desert. So the fire is blocking those stairways is gone, so we can head around town and get a fire rod. Professor Machines was what broke the crystals. Unbelievable. There's the Chancellor. The Queen's upstairs, but she's been wounded. Wanna refill our potions? 99 of them? Thankfully it's not like Final Fantasy 1 where we have to buy them individually one at a time. So we'll stock up on a few extra status removing items. We have the money to spend it, so might as well. Getting about 30 of each. Phoenix Down, still expensive, so won't have 30 of them, but We haven't been using them much ever since we avoided that jackanapes. That's the only time we really needed them. We rescued the queen from the fire-powered ship, but she sustained injuries. We were able to get out of the castle, but the queen is delirious since we found her. And she was possessed. The darkness, don't come any closer. Must have messed with her mind. Well, hopefully she gets better. So, maybe they'll have to take her to the veterinarian. Like how Daddy used to take me to the vet when I wasn't feeling good. Or for my 6-month checkup, yeah. We rats, unfortunately, we don't live too long on the earth, so, unlike dogs that can get away with, younger dogs can get away with, once-a-year checkup, yeah, they recommend the ratties get twice-a-year checkup at least. Because we age pretty quickly, Yep. 2 to 3 years is our average lifespan, but I made it to at least 3.5. If only I never made that infernal machine. All this is my fault if it weren't for me. But even if we depart from the earth, us ratties live forever at the Rainbow Bridge. Said Professor must be tough for him. That's where I'm at right now with all the other princesses that my daddy used to have, and my brothers, Arthur, Durf, and Pops, Dutch, Terry. All those ratties who lived with me. So now that we talked with Sid, we can go back to the pub and this room that was empty. Sid will now be in it. Let's go talk with Sid. Maybe we can try to cheer him up. Sid, leave me alone. If only I made that infernal machine. It wasn't all your fault, remember? There's some evil. Professor, it wasn't your fault. Please, just let me be. There's some evil that's trying to break the crystals to resurrect itself. This guy says something. Professor sits upstairs. He looked like he lost his best friend. And these guys still saying the same thing. Even though the wall to the ancient library is blown up now, so that guy could get back to J. Cole. So, alright, well, let's head on over this way. The only way we can go. Let's head toward that ancient library. This is the enemy I wanted to meet earlier. These grass turtles. So, they drop turtle shells, which are an ingredient you can use for mixing. But, once again, it's a class ability in a class that we don't have. You can see what the mix ability was like, though. It's a very overpowered ability. It basically makes the chemist the best class in this game. I used the chemist in the first Final Fantasy V 4-drop Fiesta for healing whiskers. So, yeah, they mix items up and they create new items based on what they mix. It's like turtle shells are usually used in mixes that like boost defense. So you want to try to avoid getting into encounters in those desert whatchamacallit, squares. Because if you get an encounter there, that's where we're going to run into those dorm chimeras. And they have a really good blue magic spell called Aqua Breath. But at this point in the game, it deals a lot of damage. So, it'll most likely just wipe out your party. So we're going to stick close to the grass, avoid the desert as much as we can. And there's the ancient library, but we have a little bit of time, so before we head to the ancient library, we're going to head to a different desert. These guys have mithril armor you can steal. We don't need it, but might as well try to steal it. Get some more money, because we spent so much money. But yeah, if we want to say, we don't want to go to the library. Library's boring. Well, the game locks you out of continuing. We try to get over here to this really big desert. And see the sand? It's kind of moving. Yep, the sand is moving. The desert of shifting sands. It's like those conveyor belts in the fire ship. They're just going to push you back, so we can't progress through that desert. So, we have no choice but to head to the ancient library. So, all these enemies, we already met all the new enemies around this area. Those mithril dragons, if you're trying to find them, they're in the forest area, so that's where we can encounter them. The only other enemies are the grass turtles those silent bees. So, but we already met them, so. Well, that does it for this episode. Come back next time where we actually go to the library. What do we learn at the library? Probably a lot, because it's a library. Take care. Have a good day. Bye!